Hey there, friend. Welcome back. I'm so grateful you're here today because we're talking about something that takes immense courage, something that's both terrifying and liberating, starting over. Maybe you're in a career that's draining your soul. Maybe you're in a chapter of life that doesn't feel like yours anymore. Maybe you've been telling yourself for years that it's too late, that you've already committed, that you can't possibly start again. Well, today I want to challenge that story. Today we're going to explore why starting over isn't giving up, it's waking up. So grab your favorite drink, settle into a comfortable spot, and let's talk about the beautiful, terrifying, transformative act of beginning again. Picture this. You're on a path. You've been walking this path for years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10, maybe 20. You've invested so much time, so much energy, so much of yourself into this direction. But somewhere along the way, you realize something unsettling. This path doesn't lead where you want to go anymore. Maybe it never did. Maybe you chose it because someone else expected you to. Maybe you chose it because it seemed safe. Maybe you chose it because you were a different person back then with different dreams. And now you're standing at a crossroads looking at a new path, and every cell in your body is screaming both yes that way and no, it's too risky. Here's what nobody tells you about starting over. It's one of the bravest things you can do. Our culture celebrates consistency, commitment, seeing things through. We're taught that changing direction means you failed, that starting over means you wasted time, that admitting something isn't working means you're weak or indecisive. But that's not true. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is acknowledge that what once fit no longer does. Sometimes wisdom isn't stubbornly staying the course, it's having the courage to chart a new one. And today, I want to give you permission to start over, no matter how far down the old path you've traveled. Let me tell you about Rachel. Rachel was 36 years old, working as a corporate lawyer at a prestigious firm. She'd gone to law school, passed the bar, climbed the ladder, made partner. From the outside, she had everything: the salary, the respect, the success. But inside, Rachel was drowning. She dreaded Monday mornings. She felt disconnected from her work. She'd lost the spark that made her feel alive. And the worst part? She felt trapped. I'm too old to start over, she told herself. I've invested too much. People will think I'm crazy. I have a mortgage, responsibilities. I can't just throw it all away. So Rachel stayed. She stayed for 2 more years, feeling more hollow with each passing month. She stayed because starting over felt impossible. She stayed because she didn't know how to walk away from everything she'd built, until one day, during a particularly soul-crushing case, Rachel had a panic attack at her desk. Her body was telling her what her mind refused to accept. This path was killing her spirit. Something had to change. Imagine you're building a house. You've laid the foundation, put up the walls, installed the plumbing, you've invested months of work and thousands of dollars. But then you realize you built it on unstable ground, the foundation is cracked, the house is slowly sinking. You have 2 choices. You can keep building on that faulty foundation, telling yourself you've invested too much to stop now, watching everything slowly crumble. Or you can make the hard decision to stop, to start over on solid ground, to build something that will actually stand. Starting over isn't about wasting what you've built. It's about refusing to build your future on a foundation that can't support it. So why is starting over so terrifying? Why do we cling to paths that no longer serve us? I've identified 5 major fears that keep us stuck, and recognizing them is the first step to moving past them. Fear 1, the sunk cost fallacy. We think about all the time, money, energy, and emotion we've already invested. I've spent 10 years building this career. I can't just throw that away. But here's the truth. Those years aren't wasted just because you choose a different path now. They taught you things. They shaped you. They showed you what you don't want. The only waste is spending the next 10 years on the wrong path just because you already spent 10 years on it. Fear 2, other people's opinions. We're terrified of what others will think. They'll think I'm a quitter, they'll think I'm irresponsible, they'll think I'm having a crisis. And maybe some people will think those things. But you know what? They're not living your life. They're not waking up in your body with your feelings. Their opinions don't pay your bills or fill your soul. You cannot live your one precious life trying to meet everyone else's expectations. Fear 3, age and time. I'm too old to start over. I should have figured this out by now. I've missed my window. This is perhaps the biggest lie we tell ourselves. You are not too old. There is no expiration date on reinvention. Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65. Vera Wang entered fashion design at 40. Julia Child published her first cookbook at 50. Your timeline is your own. Fear 4, financial security. This is a legitimate concern. Starting over often means a pay cut, uncertainty, rebuilding, but living in financial comfort while slowly dying inside isn't really security, it's a prison with nice furniture. There are ways to transition thoughtfully, to build a bridge while you cross, to take calculated risks instead of reckless leaps. Fear 5, fear of failure. What if I start over and it doesn't work? What if I'm terrible at it? What if I regret it? But here's the question you need to ask instead. What if you don't try and spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been? Which regret can you live with more easily? All right, so how do we gather the courage to start over? How do we take that first terrifying step toward a new beginning? Here are 6 strategies that can help you move from stuck to starting. Strategy 1, separate identity from activity. You are not your job, you are not your degree, you are not the path you've been on. Those are things you do or have done, not who you are. When you realize that changing your career, your location, your relationship status, or your life direction doesn't change your core worth or identity, starting over becomes less about losing yourself and more about finding yourself. Strategy 2, reframe starting over as evolution. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. Everything you've learned, every skill you've developed, every challenge you've overcome, all of that comes with you. You're not a beginner at life. You're someone who's brave enough to apply what they've learned to create something better aligned with who they've become. Strategy 3, create a bridge, not a leap. You don't have to quit everything tomorrow. You can start small, take a class in the evening, start a side project on weekends, save money for 6 months while you plan. Test the waters before you dive in. Starting over can be a gradual transition, not a dramatic explosion. Build your bridge while you're still on solid ground. Strategy 4, find your why. That's bigger than your fear. Why do you want to start over? Get specific, not because I'm unhappy, but because I want to feel aligned with my values. Because I want to make a difference. Because I want to wake up excited. Because I want to show my kids it's never too late to choose yourself. When your why is strong enough, your fears become background noise instead of stop signs. Strategy 5, seek out stories of others who've done it. You're not the first person to start over, and you won't be the last. Find people who've made similar transitions, read their stories, join communities of career changers, location changers, life renovators. When you see that others have walked this scary path and survived, thrived even, it makes your own journey feel less impossible. Strategy 6, give yourself permission to want what you want. This is the most important one. Stop justifying your desires, stop minimizing your unhappiness, stop telling yourself you should be grateful for what you have and therefore shouldn't want something different. You can be grateful for where you've been and ready for something new. You can honor the past and choose a different future. Give yourself permission to want more, want different, want aligned, want true. So what happened with Rachel? After her panic attack, she couldn't ignore the truth anymore. She started seeing a therapist. She started journaling about what she actually wanted. And slowly, she admitted something she'd been avoiding for years. She wanted to work with nonprofits focused on environmental justice. That was what lit her up. That was what felt meaningful. Rachel didn't quit the next day. She was smart about it. She saved money for a year. She volunteered with environmental organizations on weekends to test the waters. She networked. She took a course in nonprofit management. And then, at 38, Rachel made the leap. She took a significant pay cut to work as a legal advisor for an environmental nonprofit. Was it scary? Absolutely. Did some people think she was crazy? Sure, but you know what? Within 6 months, Rachel told me she felt more alive than she had in a decade. She woke up with purpose. Her work mattered to her. The anxiety disappeared. She had started over, and in doing so, she had found herself again. Now I want you to think about something. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're on the wrong path, if you're feeling like you want to start over but you're terrified, what's the cost of staying? Not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, physically. What is it costing you to remain on a path that doesn't fit anymore? And here's the harder question. What will it cost you in 5 years if you don't make a change? What version of yourself are you becoming by staying, and what version of yourself could you become by starting over? Starting over doesn't mean everything before was wrong or wasted. It means you're honest enough to admit when something's no longer working. It means you're brave enough to choose alignment over comfort. It means you're wise enough to know that the path that got you here might not be the path that takes you where you want to go. And that's not failure, that's growth, that's evolution, that's being fully courageously alive. The world will try to convince you to stay small, to play it safe, to stick with what you know, but you have one life. One, you don't get a rehearsal, you don't get a do-over after the final curtain, and spending that one life on a path that doesn't honor who you truly are, that's the real risk. Starting over isn't reckless, staying stuck is. So here's what I want you to know today. It's not too late, you haven't missed your chance, you haven't wasted too much time, you are not too old, too invested, too far down the path to turn around. Every single day you get to choose. Every morning, you wake up with the power to decide whether to stay on the path you're on or to start carving a new one. That power doesn't expire, that choice doesn't disappear. You always have permission to begin again. Maybe starting over looks like changing careers. Maybe it's leaving a relationship that's become comfortable but empty. Maybe it's moving to a new city. Maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it's pursuing a creative passion. Maybe it's something else entirely. Whatever it is, if it's calling to you, if it's keeping you awake at night, if it's that whisper in your soul that says, there's more, listen to it, honor it. And then when you're ready, take the first small step toward it. My friend, you are allowed to outgrow the life you built. You are allowed to want something different than what you once wanted. You are allowed to change your mind, change your path, change your whole damn life if that's what your soul is asking for. Starting over isn't giving up on the past, it's refusing to give up on your future. It's choosing possibility over predictability. It's choosing yourself. Thank you for being here with me today, for having the courage to even consider that starting over might be possible for you. If this resonated, hit that thumbs up button, share it with someone who needs permission to begin again, and subscribe for more honest conversations about life, growth, and transformation. Until next time, trust your intuition, honor your evolution, and remember, it's never too late to become who you were meant to be. You've got this.